Okay, today we're talking about power dynamics. So it's the fourth in this section where we're understanding actors, talked about values, mental models. Last one was about incentives, and today we're talking about power dynamics. So here's a quote: "Power is what perpetuates systems, and it plays a very important factor in why systems stay doing what they do, and why and how they resist change. And it's often not until we actually go and try and change things that we'll see where power really lies. In a business as usual scenario, power is kind of accepted, the status quo is accepted, and it's only when we change, that we try to make change happen, that we actually see where it lies and how it influences the system. So in nurturing an ecosystem requires a deep awareness of power. Understanding an ecosystem and then developing an ecosystem requires deep understanding of power, who has influence, what kind of influence do they have, who does not have influence, are key considerations here. And of course, we want to do that, look at that again in this ethnographic way of actually going into the system and trying to experience it from the situation of the actors in the system. So power mapping refers to a set of tools and processes that enable us to now analyze power relations and start to create strategies for change. It's a visual way of working and yet building upon our actor map. And again, can help us find potential leverage points and ways and places to build coalitions in the system, and understand where that strong resistance may lie. So a little definition: what is power? This is kind of a standard definition. It's the ability to make others do what they would not necessarily be doing themselves. So it's about agency, right? Our capacity to influence other people's agency in a direction that we desire. There are many forms of power, from money and force and even expertise. We can see that here. Well, it's on the next page. This is just point of the fact that it's not necessarily good or evil. Power exists and it flows like a currency, and it needs to be present and always will be present in a system. So in and of itself, there's nothing necessarily wrong with it, but it's how we use it, and of course how it can resist change or enable it, which is what we want to understand here. So these are different forms of power. Raven's 6 forms of power. Top left, legitimacy, might be the kind that a national government has, a democratic government, where people perceive it as a legitimate authority because it was elected. Rewards, we can dish out money and that will influence people, and that will be a certain form of power. Government is able to give grants and so forth. Coercion, right, physical force is a form of power. Information, the capacity to control what information is widely available and the dominant narrative. Referent, a charismatic form of power that's influencing and attracting people towards certain activities. And expertise, people who are perceived to have certain knowledge that others don't have will have a certain power to influence discourse. We see on the news they call in someone from Stanford University or from Oxford to talk on a particular subject because they're an expert, and that gives them a certain authority and power. So that's power, and that actually wraps up the 4 different dimensions we've been talking about, helping understand actors. We'll bring those together in the next module.